Wow, I'm shocked that actually someone came to listen to this. That's crazy. Sorry for the delay. I'll try to rush through my talk so it gets quicker. Today we'll talk about, I hope, something interesting to you. You'd imagine that after doing something for almost 20 years, for example, being in game dev industry, having your technical career excel to some point, you're progressing through, you're becoming a director of tools team, and then you speak on stages of conferences like this one, and you'd imagine that such person will feel confident. Such person will be professional and brave and not scared at all. Well, that's not the case. Today we'll talk about this feeling that we constantly might have inside us that will cause us feel insecure, vulnerable. Today we'll talk about the impostor among us. Spoiler alert, there is at least one here. Maybe more, we'll see. My name is Łukasz Łukasik. I'm Tools Director at Techland. And before we dive in, what's this imposter syndrome? Well, I don't like to dive into the scientific explanations, but basically imagine this. You're doing something, whatever it is, technical stuff, the art side of the projects, whatever it might be. And you are doing this for a long time. You are doing this for a long time, you get experienced more and more, and still inside your head you have this voice telling you, like, there's something wrong. There's this voice inside your head telling you, well, someone will find out that you don't belong here. Someone will find out that you actually don't know what you're talking about. And sometimes you might feel like you slipped through the cracks of the system. Like people who recruited you, you somehow cheated them so that they thought that actually you know something, but in fact you feel inside that you are not a proper person in a proper place. So basically, despite having this evidence of success, your portfolio, a list of games that you published in your past, you're in credits of those games, right? Despite all of that, you're still feeling like there's something wrong, that you are cheating everyone around you. Later on, I will talk about tips and tricks that might help you cope with similar feelings. One of them, I just spoiled it a little bit right now, is to remind yourself and keep reminding yourself about things you already done. So now I have a favor to ask for all of you. I want to make a photo with you before you run away after I proceed further with next slides, so I can remind myself later that, well, maybe I don't suck this much being on this stage. So I hope it's okay for you. Wow, that's a huge crowd. I'm getting stressed even right now. Well, okay. Do I see you all? Damn it. Well, that was not planned. Or maybe video. Yeah. Damn, I was not expecting this big crowd. Thank you very much. Okay, back to business. Now you can run away if you want. Now it's a good moment. So to tell you the truth, before we dive in, each story need to have a main character, right? So then more people coming in. I can retake the photo, I guess. No, I won't. So each story need to have a main character, right? So using help of AI, this one generated like South Park style version of me. It was generous. You can see huge arms. I will get there in my basement gym soon, hopefully. But this is basically how I look like in January this year, when I applied to become a speaker for this conference that we are having right now. And I sent my abstract to Digital Dragons Advisory Board and got accepted. And this is how I felt, like, yeah, that's amazing. I can share something interesting with all those people, share some tips and tricks that I learned along the way, so it will help them cope with their insecurities and their imposter syndrome. Or maybe give them better understanding to this problem. So, as months went by, I started feeling less and less confident. And basically this is how I was feeling just like minutes ago before I entered this stage. I was terrified. Last year I had my first talk on the Digital Dragons ever. So last year I started my speaking journey. And I had like super small room upstairs. And when I found out that today I will be speaking in this place and seeing that someone actually came, well, you're not making this easy, but basically this is how I felt. And while preparing this talk, I started wondering, why do I have it? It's not like I was born with it. It's not like I got infected by it from someone else. As we are young kids, it's not like we are born with this syndrome, right? Here it's me. You can tell that at that time I was doing a job of junior intern developer of Sandbox, black and white, retro style. So, as we are at this stage of our lives, we are not born with this imposter syndrome. We don't have those thoughts. We are not second-guessing ourselves. We are just having fun, exploring the world around us, right? Because we are kids. So curiosity overrules competence. It's not expected of us to do something perfect, whatever perfect might be, right? So mistakes that we do as kids are expected. No one should expect from their kids to be perfect, to do something right away from the beginning. Some people do, but in general, that shouldn't be this way. And at this moment, we are not comparing, or we shouldn't be compared to others. So our ego at this moment of our lives is not tied to our performance. We are not competing with no one else. We're just kids having fun, doing our stuff, messing up. This is what kids should do. And as we have this main character, and I was thinking, oh, okay, so if this talk was to be pitch for a movie idea, it could be action movie, right? And clearly, by looking at my gray beard and at my bald hair, bald head, you can tell I'm old. So I don't know how many of you remember this old movie with Sylvester Stallone, Rambo, First Blood. Anyone? Whoa, okay, so I guess I'm not the only old one here. That's good to know. And for those who don't know, well, this is this friendly gentleman, as you can see, Rambo, First Blood. So for my poster for this movie, it could be school, the beginning. I think it's looking badass, almost like Sylvester Stallone with some ruler and some notebooks. Yeah, that's good stuff. Why the school? Most of my story has its beginnings in school, in primary school. I had lots of similar situations, but this one stayed in my memory pretty solid up to this moment, so that's why I want to share it. There were many others of this kind, but this is just one of examples. I always knew at that moment that something was wrong with my parents. I couldn't tell what was actually happening. I couldn't name it at that time. Many years later, basically when I went through my own therapy, I learned that this, what I was experiencing and observing, is called emotionally immature parents. So basically parents, I heard this simple explanation what emotionally immature parent is. So basically this kind of parent treats their young kids as if they were adults, and then treats their adult kids as if they were children. They don't have respect for boundaries and whatsoever. Plus, usually they can be narcissistic, which was in my case. And I was returning once home. I nailed this test at school. I think it was from math. I got B. I got 4. And I was super happy and super proud. I went home like, yeah, Mom, I got 4. And she just stood there and asked like, okay. What did your friend got? Okay, he's got an A. He's got 5. Well, that's not surprise. His parents are doctors. He'll become a doctor too, probably. Well, funny story. He actually became doctor. I don't know what happened, but I'm not kidding. This happened. So, okay. And at this moment, nobody told me like, "Oh, you're stupid" or something. Nobody told me like, "Oh, you're worse than others." But having this information like packaged into this weird question like, "Oh, what someone other had from this test? Oh, they got 5. Okay, you got 4. Oh, okay." This small nugget of information already puts this seed in your mind from which this thought later on will grow. Like, "Oh, I'm worse than others because I'm compared to others. There's something wrong with me, right?" Then when I continued to high school, I never was a popular kid. I was always outsider, the outcast, the nerdy dude who already at that moment tinkered with programming and making my stupid games for myself, because at that time I started having this dream to actually working in game dev industry. And I was not going to parties. I don't remember being invited to any party. And, when others parties and had girlfriends or whatever, I was programming. Yep, that's good stuff. And I was also looking different from others. Well, like, not to this extent. But I was the only kid in class who had this big mustache. I don't know where it came from. In Poland, we used to have this famous ski jumper, Adam Małysz. You know the guy, right? Yeah, he has this mustache. He was famous at that time. My father had huge mustache, so maybe subconsciously I went with this image and kept mine as soon as I had my facial hair growing. And it apparently bothered some people at my school. There were some bullies who started making jokes, making fun of me, poking fingers, whatever. And sometimes you have this kind of inner feeling, this sixth sense, or I don't know how to call it, that you feel inside that something wrong is going to happen, but you don't know when. And the situation escalated to the point that once, before PE, in a locker room, I was approached by 3 of my bullies, and I was tall, skinny, weak dude, like computer nerd, like the stereotypical dude that just writes code and does nothing, no strength whatsoever. And they said, "Okay, this is what's going to happen. Either you are going to shave your mustache right now, or we are going to do this for you." And they had razor blade with them and shaving cream. And at this moment, I figured that I will try to retain those nuggets of power that I have in this weird power struggle right now. And I decided I'll do it myself. And I did. And then we went back to other classes. And the atmosphere was weird. Everyone noticed the difference. But it was weird, like something wrong happened. And my mother was picking me up from school at that day. And she looked at me when I was entering the car, and she said, "Wow, you look like an idiot." Not her best parenting moment, not her worst. So this is another moment in my life where I got this nugget of information packaged in this situation that I'm this different dude. I'm this weird guy that everyone has problem with. That there's, again, something wrong with me. I did something wrong, I deserve this. And at this point, it got really dark for me. This is maybe a topic for another talk, so I won't delve into this right now. Then, to make it even funnier, my mother escalated the whole thing. She went to school director and made this case super loud to a whole school. One of my bullies stayed in the same grade. He didn't get promoted to 4th grade, as we all did. And all his friends blamed me for this. So I was getting threats. I was getting pushed down the sidewalks when I was going home from school or to school. I get some groups of his friends knocking at my door to have a chat with me. So not funny period of my life. Cherry on top, I don't know if you ever experienced having this math teacher or any kind of teacher at school that no matter what you do and how hard you try or learn, they just hate your guts. Do you had some teachers that no matter what you did, like they didn't like you, and you didn't do something wrong, they just didn't like you? And in my school, I had to pick profile, depending on what my interests are. And obviously, I was already programming my games. I was interested in computer science, so I picked profile with extended math, physics, and computer science. And this was math teacher from this extended math. And boy, he hated me. I don't know why, but he just didn't like me. He couldn't stand me. And as we were getting closer and closer to this final exam that we have after high school, which in Poland is called matura, the only thing I was doing, I was learning math, like really hard, like ditching all other stuff I had to learn as well. I was focusing only on math. And this guy approached me once and he told me straight to my face, "You're gonna fail math exam. I won't let you pass, you will fail." And later, I failed math exam, this final math exam after high school, before I can go to the university. So now, my mother's biggest concern was what neighbors will say. Damn, I hope that nobody from our family will know, because it's so shameful, you know. You didn't pass. Everyone passes. Well, that's not true, but you know that was the narrative in my house at that time. So again, another situation where I get this nugget of information like, you did something wrong and you should be ashamed of it. Nobody else failed. It's just you. You failed and you suck. This is something wrong with you. And at this moment, when you fail with your education, at this moment in Poland, if you are not in school, well, army is getting interested in you. So I don't waste my 1 year before I can retake my math exam again, which happens 6 months later. I need to stay somewhere, so I don't waste this year. And I found one school, paid monthly, where I can be and continue my education without having papers after high school, because I still didn't pass this math exam. And I got straight A's in this school, maxed out everything. Nobody in this school cared about grades. Most of guys that were in this school, they were just hiding from the army. They didn't care about the grades. And they were looking at me like, what the fuck? He actually did his homework? Like, what's with this dude? He's like crazy or something? What the hell? And once I went to a school director asking him, is there any kind of scholarship or something, because of these grades that maybe I can get some money or something, And he scratched his head and he said, like, we never had someone who cared about grades here. Most people are here just to hide and buy some time and run away from army. And he started thinking more and he said, you know what? You don't have to pay me. Is that okay for you? And I'm like, yeah, that's great. So I stayed there and didn't have to pay each month. And at this moment, my imposter syndrome is losing its power. Because now, after this drama in high school, and after passing my math, which I did in February, so 6 months later, and having all those grades maxed out, I feel like, okay, so maybe I don't suck like everyone told me before. So maybe it's not like it's a problem with me. Okay. And then I started university 1 year later. So I didn't took gap year per se, but I had this 1 year of delay in my education. And as I was tinkering with my games already, I started searching for companies in Krakow who were searching for employees. I sent a couple of emails, and that's how it all began. I started briefly my journey as a gameplay programmer when working on Towards 2 in Reality Pump. Then quickly got interest in tools programming, and this was what I focused on later on for the whole of my career, up to this point. And then I had the chance to be part of the team which opened Krakow studio of CD Projekt Red to work on The Witcher 3 and both expansions, and then continue on working on Cyberpunk 2077. But at this point, my imposter is kept in check. Why? Because I have my safety net with me. When I joined Reality Pump, I met all those people there. Lots of creative, super skilled, super intelligent people that I can learn from. And then when we moved together to another company, I was not afraid asking them if I didn't know something. It was not something to be ashamed of, because they were there. The biggest shift for me happened when I transitioned to Techland to work on Dying Light 2 Stay Human, and then later on Dying Light the Beast. Because here, first, I changed the company. Most of my friends stayed in previous company, or they moved to another companies. So I'm alone in this case. And second, I switched my career path from being a programmer of tools to becoming a lead of tools of programmers. So at this point, despite the fact I tried to prepare myself the best I could, when this happened and I got promoted to this leadership role, I was not aware and not sure what I'm doing. Like, what I'm supposed to do now? I don't know how to lead those people. Should I micromanage? I don't know. And after 3 years, when I finally got to this good place, when I finally thought, oh, I think I know what I'm doing right now, I got promoted to director role. So basically, my imposter syndrome is reset right now, and I'm experiencing kind of similar thoughts right now. Insecurity, second-guessing myself, still working on it. Each story, usually in movies, has their turning points. Things where suddenly something changes with the main character. For me, one of those moments was the moment when my daughter was born. We called her Ada to honor first female programmer, Ada Lovelace. And by looking at my eyes and those dark shadows underneath them, you can see that I clearly well slept that night. Young parent, yep. And at this point, I started having anger issues. And you might think, well, how does this connect to imposter syndrome? It's like a different topic. Well, it's not. My wife at this moment tried to help me. And there were lots of situations where, being programmer for my whole life, I have young baby, human, right? Not a computer program. What do? I try to debug my baby, right? I will debug my baby because I'm a programmer. That should work, right? What can go wrong? So she's crying. Okay, let me check my checklist. Is she hungry? No, I fed her. That's not it. Okay. I burped her, so that's not it either. Change her diaper? That's not it. Why the hell is she still crying? You're tired, your whole day is messed up, your daily rhythm, your regular schedule is, you can throw it out the window. And I'm angry, like rocking my chair at house, like, why it's not working, why she's crying? I suck as a parent, Another moment where I question my skill set. Like, I am not doing a good job as a parent, which made me even more angry. I'm knocking my chair, like computer mouse or something. And my wife said to me, hey, Łukasz, I see that you are struggling with something. I cannot help you because I don't know what to do. But maybe you would consider using help of some specialist that can maybe help you explain some mechanisms so you understand your situation better. Obviously, I listened to her, and very maturely and calmly I said, yeah, and made me the crazy one. I'm the crazy one here. I'm the crazy one here. And I stormed off to the other room. But then I started thinking about what she said. And later I said to her, of course, with utmost respect and maturity, fine, I'll do it. Are you happy? Yep. That's good stuff. Husband of the year. And actually I started my psychotherapy, and this is one of best decisions in my life. And small information for you. It's not like I'm telling you all those things because those are cheat codes that you can blindly use in your life and you'll be happy. I'm selling you happiness. If you do the same things I did, you'll be fine. It's not that. I'm just trying to share with you things that I did in my life and in my journey to cope with my impostor syndrome. So maybe you will find some patterns and mechanisms in your life that may be similar to mine, and maybe some of those tips and tricks will help you. So I started going to a therapy, and tip and trick number one: don't stick with first psychotherapist that you have. You have to click with that person. If there's something off, you're feeling not understood by that person, and you are having a hard time explaining your situations, it's a good thing to try other options. If you click right away with your therapist from the beginning, that's great. But if not, spend your time finding for others. And I spent a couple of years with my first therapist, then COVID hit, and she had some health issues and never came back. And I had some small break in between and then started looking for some replacement. And with my second therapist, I had most breakthroughs in my therapy. The age difference was smaller between me and her. She understood my context better. So the most valuable insight I got from her and understanding I got from her is from that second therapist. So keep that in mind. Do not stick with the first one. Other things that I tinkered with on my own before even starting therapy was meditation. I tried maybe 3 approaches. Three times I tried to start meditate. And I'm not the spiritual guy, although I look like a dude that could sit in a cave and meditate or levitate while meditating or whatever, or casting spells. Yep. Great movie idea. I need to note this. And I was just interested in finding practice where I could just observe what's happening, like observing my breath, listening, like someone is walking right now, someone is sitting right now. Hello. And just being in this moment without chasing the thought or chasing the feeling. And of course, as a programmer, as an avid RPG player, I approached it with stats and achievements. So I picked the application to start my meditation journey. And this is the screenshot from that application from my last day. So I managed to do 754 days in a row with guided meditations. And at this point, I said to myself, okay, I think now I'm ready to do it on my own. And I ditched the application. I do not meditate daily. I meditate right now where I feel like it. But I think the benefits I got from that practice back then are still with me today. I feel I'm more aware to the situations and feelings as they arise inside me. For example, from today, before I entered the stage and I was waiting with all of you in that hallway, I was terrified to come here, especially when I saw how much of you came to listen to this. By the way, I'm not qualified to tell you about imposter syndrome. I think there are much better and experienced speakers out there that could be here and tell you something more interesting than this. Just keep this in mind. I was terrified, but just by being able to observe this feeling inside me, oh, I'm getting terrified, the feeling loses its strength. It's losing its power. So just by mere observing it and naming it, it's making it easier for you. Another thing that you can use is having a bunch of supportive friends around you that are there, that will keep you in check, that truly care. My biggest cheerleaders are my wife and my daughter. And clearly even AI knows that some of my friends are not super happy being around me. That's interesting. This AI is getting really creepy sometimes. But I kept this image, especially because of that dude. Being around me very often, and you'll experience this saying, I'm not qualified to do this or do that, I suck at this, oh, there are better directors out there are better leads out there, probably there is some better speaker that could be here and tell you something more funny. It's really annoying to be around me at these moments. And it's good to have this kind of friend that you can see he clearly cares deeply about me, to have balls to tell me, like, shut up. I'm tired, I can't take it anymore. You're good at it, you're gonna do fine. Just shut up. It really helps to have this kind of grumpy friend around you. My grumpy friend is not here today, but I think she will know who I'm talking about. Another tool that you can use are mantras. Not like meditative, spiritual stuff. Like sentences that you can use if you are feeling that you observed, oh, I'm terrified, or I'm not good enough, or I don't know what I'm doing in my role in company. It's good to have this track record, like before I took a picture with you. So next time if I will be afraid going on a stage, I can check, oh, I did this, so I guess I can do this. So it's good to stop before I spiral out of control and ask myself, okay, how did I get here? How did I end up being tools director? Well, to be promoted from lead's position, some people had to approve this. Lots of people had to check me out, see my skill set, and make a decision like, yes, this dude can be director. Okay, how did I get to my leadership role? When I applied to Techland, I went through recruitment process. So I spoke with HR and recruitment team and people from technical teams, and they assessed my knowledge, assessed my skill set, and they said, yeah, he can work here. It's really difficult that it's almost impossible that I cheated all of them. Like nobody noticed that I don't know anything and they hired me. It's not possible. So this is one trick that you can use. Another sentence that you can use. If you find yourself like sitting and having those doubts, this moment of insecurity, like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, I suck, I'm not a good programmer, I'm not a good lead, I'm not a good director, I suck, basically. It's just good to tell to yourself, like, this is just a stupid waste of time, you know? I can say those things all day long, and in the end, they don't change anything, really. I'm still in the same place, with the same insecurities. Something changed? Not really. So it's just a stupid waste of time. And going out there, just stepping outside of your comfort zone helps you reset your mind. This is what I'm doing right now. I learned through my therapy that speaking loud about your issues, like impostor syndrome, and anger issues. If you start therapy, if you never experienced it, it's like you're renovating a house and you have this layer of paint on wall and it's peeling. So you're scrubbing this paint, like red color. And you think it's done, and underneath there is another layer of different color, like green. And you are scraping it to get to the wall. And then underneath it is another layer of some other paint. So basically, I went through therapy with my anger issues, understood why I was getting angry, because things were not perfect. Things were not happening as I wanted them to be. And why they needed to be perfect? Because that's what I learned from my childhood. Children of emotionally immature parents, and especially parents who are narcissistic and involved only in themselves, do lots of crazy things to get the attention of the parent. They try to excel at doing something. They try to be perfect to get this accolade from their parent, an acknowledgement, like, attaboy, or good job, son. But this never came from this kind of parents. And that's it. You cannot change it. So stepping outside of your comfort zone and speaking loudly about your issues, like I'm doing right now in front. I never expected to be this huge audience today. It's like you're not making this easy. And thank you. This makes those feelings less powerful. And this also helps other people to see like, oh, maybe I'm not alone with this shitty feeling. As we are all busy with our daily jobs and our hobbies, I don't have lots of materials that you can read. So it's just this one book. My wife found it in audio version and started listening to this, and then she decided, no, you need to listen to this with me. And this is the book about basically adult children of emotionally immature parents. And you might say, well, how does it help with this impostor syndrome, right? Well, for me, it gave me understanding. I'm no longer angry when talking with my mother. I don't longer waste my time trying to explain some concepts to her or when she did something wrong, because now I understand that she's not capable of understanding of some situations. You can try to explain colors to a colorblind person. Someone is blind from birth. They will not understand colors, no matter how hard you try to explain it to them. The same goes for emotionally immature parents. They will not understand some feelings or concepts. So you shouldn't be getting angry or railed up about it. If you're interested in topics of this nature, like transitioning from technical roles to a leadership path, or you're interested in impostor syndrome, in therapy, in all those struggles that I feel that we all have, you can check me out on my socials. I write about this kind of stuff. So if you find this interesting, check me out. I hope you'll find something interesting. And remember, if you are feeling something similar, or experienced some similar situations to what I said right now, you're not alone, and your story matters. Thank you.
Wow, wow. Wow, thank you. Thank you very much, Łukasz, for sharing with us your extremely honest lecture. And it's time for questions. If you have any questions...
We have time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got about 5 minutes.
People are crushed by the
I think so.
scariness of this subject, and they are running away. I think,
behind the stage. Yeah. So, a small announcement. Please download this QR code through the official Digital Dragons application so that you can give some feedbacks to the speaker. It's really important for speakers. You can do this now. Please do not hesitate. This is the safe QR code. There are no viruses or dark stuff. Yeah,
there's Mike.
Is here.
Okay. Oh, damn it.
Okay, you're awesome, by the way. And my question is about the moment when you had the leadership position. You mentioned that at first you didn't know what you were doing, and after 3 years you kind of knew. So my question is, did you get any training in leadership in your company? If yes, how did it help you? And if not, would it have helped you?
Yes, we had in our company this internal trainings for different kind of stuff, but we also have for management positions and leadership positions, basically for a job where you're supposed to kind of lead or manage a team of people. And yeah, I had those kind of workshops. Of course, before that, I spent some time reading huge books about psychology, team building, motivating people, giving feedback and whatnot, just to feel a little bit secure when I started this job. But then the reality hit, and at that time when you're in this position, it's not so easy, even having read all those books. So it comes with practice. So it's not like you will be perfect from the beginning. I'm still not perfect after all those years, but still after this, you have this first security safety net after reading those books, because knowledge won't hurt, of course. But then with practice, you gain confidence and kind of get the idea and get grasp of this new position. So of course, those trainings helped me, because I had to sit down with other people at similar positions in our company, talk about similar struggles and problems, and get some shared some tips for different situations. So yeah, that helped me greatly. But I think that this initial feeling, you have to start somewhere. It's not like you're born and outside of the womb I jump out and I'm director. It doesn't work this way. So all of us has this beginning where you fail, and that's perfectly fine.
Okay, so I have another question. Firstly, thank you for your presentation. It was great.
Welcome.
So my question is, there are some things that may or may not work for someone and for some other, but do you have any ideas where you could have gone differently? There are some things you have done that pushed you further away from your objective to heal and to get better. So the others may just avoid them.
I think I definitely could have started therapy earlier. This is the topic that came in many heated discussions I had with mostly arguing with my mother. And in moments of this anger and yelling at her, I was saying like, we should go to a therapy, like together. And she always replied, I'm not stupid one. I don't need problems. You have some problems. I'm fine, I'm not weirdo. Because if you go to a therapy, then you're weird. This is the narrative I had in my place. So if I could change something, it's not possible, but if I could do something differently, is go to a therapy earlier. If you have pain in your teeth, you go to a doctor. That's normal thing, you know, nothing to be ashamed of. You break your arm, you go to the hospital, to the doctors, you know. So if you're having mental problems with your head, which is, spoiler alert, part of your body, you go to see a doctor, right? So I think this one piece I would do earlier, because I think at that time in Poland, thinking about going to a therapy was something shameful, like, oh, I'm weirdo, I'm crazy dude, maybe I'm dangerous or something, you know. So that's not true. But because of that, at that moment, it was not popular enough, and people were not using this tool. And I think this is one thing I could change, because it helped me greatly. But when I was already like really 40 plus right now, so it could be earlier.
Okay, and the last question, please.
Hi,
Hello.
thank you very much for sharing. That was like super brave and also super interesting.
Thank you.
About therapy, you said that you have tried many different therapists. Were you like searching for through different types of therapy to find your the best suited for you, like CBT or psychodynamic, etc.? And if you could share, of course, what kind of therapy like worked for you, etc.?
I was not researching different genres of therapies. I went with cognitive behavioral therapy, so one of the like kind of classical ones. It happened by accident. It's not like I especially searched therapists in that genre of therapy. I just went to a closest therapy center next to my house, and it was with this type of therapy. And I started with this one. And when I continued with another therapist, we talked a little about the different kinds, but there was no reason to change and explore some other paths with the therapy. As I saw positive results with this one, so it was not making sense at this point to check out something else. So this is the one genre I have the most experience, and it happened by accident, really.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Łukasz. It was really an honor to have you here today with us.
Thank you.